Papua in Southeast Asia is home to more than 2 million people in thousands of tribes speaking 250 different languages. It's also virtually closed to international media, but now Indonesia's largest province is facing a problem so grave it deserves international attention. It's HIV/AIDS. Hello, I'm Taimur Nabili, and on this edition of 101 East we take a look at Papua's looming health crisis. Papua has been ruled by Indonesia since the 1960s, and during that time, logging and other businesses, often supported by the military, have brought prostitution into the region, and that's fueled the spread of HIV/AIDS. Now, experts are warning that by 2025, Papua's infection rate will balloon to 7% of the population. Helen Vatsikopoulos reports.
Twice a week in the Papuan capital of Jayapura, an inter-island ferry docks, spilling out its human cargo. The passengers are ethnic Papuans and Indonesian trans-migrants who've made this province their home. After 4 decades of Indonesian rule, trans-migrants dominate the coastal cities. They also dominate the economy, the police and the military. Yet half of all Indigenous Papuans have never been to school, and most remain on the margins of society. They've become vulnerable to an epidemic that has already infected up to 3% of the population and set to double in future. They're mourning for their friend and neighbour, Yaman Wenda. He died this morning of AIDS.
Kami mohon agak cepat makan mau dimulai.
AIDS worker David Wombrow met him a few weeks ago, and today he's organising his funeral. Once every month, he and his staff reach into their own pockets to buy coffins, crosses and graves, because people like Yaman Wenda come to them when it's too late.
Baik, pada di siang hari ini, hambamu dipanggil oleh Tuhan.
And God may soon be calling on 5 of Yaman Wenda's friends. They're also HIV positive. Field workers fear there will be many, many others. HIV/AIDS is more prevalent here than anywhere outside of Africa.
2001, it's low people who positive, but now almost every week my staff see some people who positive. Maybe 1 week ago, my staff take 30 people and 5 of them positive.
In the darkness, Yaman Wenda is being laid to rest. At least he knew his killer. He contracted HIV/AIDS by having unprotected sex in a culture where men have multiple sexual partners. But many others have died undiagnosed and uncounted.
I believe the situation is critical because of silence and lack of openness.
For every 4 people infected in Papua, 3, like Yaman Wenda, are Indigenous. And in a place as tense and sensitive as this, everything, even health, becomes infected by politics. Agus Alawa is a respected Papuan leader. His predecessor, Taes Elaway, was assassinated by Indonesian special forces. He says HIV/AIDS is just the latest strategy of Indonesia's to destroy his people, once the overwhelming majority reduced through time to 66%.
We are put this issue as the genocide reality here in West Papua. We have illegal logging, illegal mining, illegal fishing, all of this. And all of this business bring the prostitute woman come in Papua. It cannot survive without any supporting by military or police. No. Never.
Agus Alua has no evidence of genocide by HIV/AIDS, and only a handful of other Papuan leaders agree with him. Constant Kama, a former deputy governor of Papua and now heading the AIDS Commission here, is not one of them.
Karena data-data kami juga memberi gambaran bahwa
it's not the military, but HIV/AIDS was brought in by traders and fishermen, not the military, not any rogue elements.
Oknum-oknum tertentu.
Merauke, the southern port city, gazes across the Arafura Sea, where Thai fishermen regularly trawl the waters. And in 1992, they had sex with local prostitutes. When they'd finished, they'd left behind Papua's first recognised cases of HIV/AIDS.
Hak untuk kebebasan, the right to freedom.
Dr. Nafsia Boy heads the Indonesian AIDS Commission. The wife of a former governor of East Timor, she's come from Jakarta to help out. The free condoms they've been sending are just not being used.
Bagaimana pengalamannya? Laki-laki nggak mau. Alasannya bukan karena dia beragama, maka dia tidak mau pakai kondom. Dia tidak mau pakai kondom karena dia minta kenikmatan. Ya toh?
There is a history of high prevalence of sexually transmitted infections in Papua. Even during the Dutch colonial times, 2 times there was a big outbreak of STIs, and some tribes were almost wiped out. So it's not that this is something new.
Merauke has one of the highest sex worker infection rates in Indonesia. In Yoba, the red light district, the advertising in the brothels is all about safe sex. Condom use is compulsory, according to the brothel madam, who says she goes around and checks that they've been used. And as for the girls, well, the local government has made testing compulsory.
Iya, setiap bulan diadakan pengecekan 3 bulan sekali.
They have checkups every month and blood tests every 3 months. If they are infected, they aren't allowed to work. So here, you can say that the girls are 100% clean. If they are sick, they're not allowed to work.
So what happens if a girl, you find she is HIV positive? Where does she go to work?
Actually, I've never heard of anyone getting infected while she was working.
Tati Mama is either lying to us or unaware of what's going on under her own roof. When she's gone, we secretly interview a sex worker she'd recruited from Java. Let's call her Lola. Lola is HIV positive and still on the job.
I've been working here for a long time, but I've been infected for about a year.
When you have a customer, do you tell them that you're HIV positive?
I don't tell them about it, but I make every client use a condom.
And if the customer says, no, I don't want you to use a condom, I'll give you some more money, what do you say?
If that happens, I refuse.
Health officials had better hope she's telling the truth, because this is the regulated sex industry, the one they think they have under control.